Diego Simeone was saying we have to win something important so that Griezmann can win a Ballon d'Or. I believe Spurs will definitely not finish in top 4, like you guys were saying.
Not finished in top 4?
No chance.
You have lost your speed though.
Okay, but that's from age.
From age.
The only concern I have with Bruno, and I feel like a lot of people have the same issue, isn't his quality, because we all know he's a quality player. But is he a captain?
They don't need to be playing Europe to be a top team.
Yeah.
So?
No,
The top teams play in Europe.
They did not make Europe because they were bad.
But the top teams play in Europe, no?
So
They got banned.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Say one more time.
They're not playing in Europe because they committed fraud. And that's okay.
The football season is back in full swing, and there's no better way to catch all the action here in Canada than on Fubo TV. Whether it's Premier League, Serie A, and Ligue 1, all the matches are right on Fubo TV. And thanks to our friends, we got a code just for y'all. Head over to the link in our bio, sign up, and you'll be blessed with an exclusive 40% off your first month at Fubo TV. And it's not only the football. Tons of TV shows, tons of channels, movies, whatever you want, they got it. So head over to our link, sign up now, and let's get back into the action.
You looking at me like that, dude? You know what Dave looks like right now? Like a villain in anime.
Oh, he looks like
Okay? Like he's a villain, you know?
he looks like
Nani?
oh, he looks like
you know, he's the villain that you think is gonna be really strong.
who's
but
that?
it
The
ends up
serial
being someone
killer.
else.
Yeah, boys. Another epi, the Footy Culture Podcast here with the lads on the couch. What's going on?
You already know how it is, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Coach boys checking in. Let's get it.
What's up?
What's up? But yeah, as you can see, rocking the blue today.
Big
Because
Chelsea guy, eh?
we saw blockbuster, classic Barclays ball on display over the weekend. Chelsea versus Manchester City. Insane game. Probably the best Prem game I've seen so far this season.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Had everything pretty much. Big game. 4-4 final score. Crazy game, man. What were you guys' thoughts on the game?
Did you guys, any of you have this predicted?
Yeah,
I
dude,
know
of course.
a few guys were saying
Yeah, of
City
course.
blowout
Yeah.
prior to the game.
Who said that? Not me.
No. See, I had a feeling that Chelsea would score, but not 4 goals. I thought maybe a 3-1 for Man City, but 4-4, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we had one of these like
What a
proper blockbusters in the Prem. I feel like lately, the last few years, especially when City's involved, whenever it's a big game, it's usually like a little bit lower scoring, slower pace because they're both kind of going at it in a little bit of a tactical battle. But this one was just both teams, guns a-blazing, just going for it. And dude, it was exciting to watch, man. A proper 4-4 thriller. Like, it's always good to see a game like that, especially when it's two kind of top sides going at it and they're scoring goals, they're going for it. It's more exciting to watch, in my opinion. Like, you know, it's constant goals.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you that, you know, like, as obviously Man City is a top tier team that would most likely win these games easily. I mean, I thought it so. But Chelsea, man, they just it's like we say it against Barca. Every team that faced the top team, they always play better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Man City, like Chelsea's facing Man City, like I didn't expect this. But for them to score 4 goals, it tells you the level that, you know, these players at Chelsea have. And do you give kudos to the gaffer as well?
Yeah, for sure. He's the one that sets up the squad, right? He's the one that puts the players in the position, and you know, then the players have to go on from there and do their thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chelsea always turn up against the big teams, though. I think they might have pulled out a result in every single one of the top 4 games. Maybe all of them.
Yeah, they tied City, obviously. They beat Spurs. They tied Liverpool. And they tied Arsenal as well, no?
Yeah, so they really
too.
don't lose against big teams.
Yeah.
We were saying this on Fubo. It's their consistency. If they could pick up their consistency, then they could be a pretty damn good team, because the players that they have, there's not that many teams that have more depth or more talent.
They got too much depth, bro.
Yeah, like they're definitely a top 3 team just based off talent.
Mm-hmm.
But
because they're hoarding them.
yeah, we'll just gotta see, can they put things together consistently on a weekly basis. If they can, then I don't think they're gonna get top 4 this year, but next year though they'll definitely have a shout.
Because they're missing a big player in Nkunku, right?
Yeah.
And he's someone that could definitely make that difference.
Yeah, because I think someone like Nkunku is almost going to be the focal point of your offense, right? He was someone who, for Leipzig for a number of years was, their star man up top. He was actually tied for the league in goals last season in the Bundesliga. And he missed a lot of time too with some injuries. So definitely hope he can kind of come back and stay fit, because I think when he does, he's a special player, and he can play a number of positions as well, as we've seen kind of throughout his career at PSG and then Leipzig. He's played anywhere from right back to center mid to right wing to center forward to striker, like anywhere you can play. So I definitely think he definitely changes Chelsea and how they play as well. So it'll be exciting to have him back. I think he's almost rumored to be coming back after international break, if I'm not
Really?
mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
So it'll be good to see him back, and hopefully, having that firepower up top can kind of propel Chelsea to those European places.
See, my thing with that now, if obviously Nkunku's a great player, a lot of times he was at a world-class level, I say, with Leipzig. But now, if he comes in, what happens to players like Palmer?
What
I
about
think he
them?
stays in that
Do you
team.
think Palmer stays in the starting
Yeah, bro,
11
he's been
with
like
Nkunku?
he's been a key player for Chelsea.
Nkunku-
This
Comes
season,
off
bro.
then Sterling?
No,
If anything, maybe Nico Jackson.
Like
Nico
Nico
Jackson.
Jackson?
Yeah.
You think so?
He is not
He
that
hasn't really
good.
been doing
He's
much.
performing.
He's not really performing.
score-
Like he scored.
What else you
Bro,
want
he had the most
scoring?
Fugazi hat trick last week I've
I know,
ever seen
I
in my
know.
life, bro.
Yeah.
Like
He's scoring, and then he also got that assist for Sterling.
And he scored
was a nice
as well.
assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I
well,
think you think
scored a
either
goal,
either
I
that
think so.
or maybe even one of the midfielders comes out too, and there's maybe a switch in
Formation.
formation. I think right now they're playing a 4-3-3, but when I think back to Pochettino at Spurs, he loved that 4-2-3-1, where he had Eriksen behind the striker.
Yeah.
So I can see a similar thing. Maybe you have Nico just in front of Nkunku. You have Sterling and maybe Palmer on the wings, and then you maybe have a midfield duo of an Enzo and a Gallagher, or an Enzo and Caicedo if he can kind of find his form again. Then I think
Yeah.
they're pretty, they're well kept for a back four as well. So I think you can see that as well. I think that will probably be the best way for them to line up, especially against some of those teams where they might want to attack a little bit more. And then maybe in other games, you see them maybe add another midfielder if it's maybe a little bit more of a midfield battle.
Yeah. So with this team, let's say with Nkunku back in the squad, so they're 10 points out of top four right now. I know I said they're probably not gonna make top four, but where do you guys see them finishing?
I think in the later stages of the league of the the season, you're gonna start seeing these teams that are very overperforming. I think like Spurs gonna start dropping, and then there's other teams in there as well. So I can see Chelsea finishing in a European spot, maybe 5th or 6th.
Europa League.
Sorry, Europa League.
Yeah, it's European spot.
But maybe very close to hitting 4th, like fighting for 4th.
Because they're 10 points off of 4th place
Mm.
right now. Is it possible? Maybe it depends on how the other teams like Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool kind of play out throughout the rest of the season. But I feel like they're going to try at least like getting that Europa League spot. I
Yeah.
feel like top 4 might be a little bit too difficult at this time for them, but who knows, right?
Yeah, because if they don't get Europe, then they lose out on a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they kind of need it, especially with the money that they've been spending.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to Tottenham, starting to go down. We've seen them lose again this weekend. Now, they have no depth. We know this. So in January, they're going to have to obviously spend. But as of right now, seeing the team right now, are they at the title race?
Well, they lost to who did they lose to again this weekend?
Wolves.
Wolves.
2-1, yeah.
2-1. Yes, you're right. I think this is all. I think we all saw this coming, right? Like, man, that's
Did
only
we?
so long that a team like this could do so well with no depth. And yeah, you could say that they don't have European football this year, so maybe that could favor them. But at the end of the day, like we say, one player that's all it takes. One player to get injured, and your team's done. And not just any players; these are crucial players for them too. Madison and their
Van de Ven.
Van de Ven, right? So, and they're saying Van de Ven's going to be out for a couple months. So,
Same as Madison, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying at least until after Christmas.
yeah.
For both of them, yeah.
So, those are players that directly affect, every player affects the team, but those guys were carrying the team, if anything. So now who do you have with Son up top? Richarlison's not doing it. Kulusevski's
Indecent.
He's been okay. Yeah, he's been decent.
here
He's
and
been
there,
decent.
but you need someone, a different caliber of player. Maybe not a Madison because it's hard to get those guys, but something like that. But you need depth at the end of the day. And if they don't get any depth in January, I don't see them finishing top 4 at all.
I think they might switch up the tactics a little bit. I don't think they're gonna play with a cam. I think they might throw in Højbjerg as a CDM and then put Bissouma and Sarr in front of him, and then put I forgot the Welsh guy's name. Robinson.
Brennan Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah,
Johnson on the left.
yeah.
He's been decent.
Yeah.
He's been okay, yeah.
With Kulu and Son
Son
up
up
top,
top.
and just see what they could do up top, because without Madison, there's really no creativity. So it's they're gonna have to work on the counter attack, and then obviously with the high press. And Højbjerg kind of fits that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They're
So
gonna have to really tough it out.
yeah, they're probably just gonna switch the formation up a little bit. But if they're are they out of the title race? I'll answer my own question. Yes, they don't have the firepower to do it like a City or Liverpool. They don't have that type of depth. We've seen it. They've seen their starting 11. Their starting 11 is great under new management. Unreal. They're a great team. But when it comes to it with injuries, that you've seen the players that they started with. Same thing for Newcastle. They might have trouble making the top 4 because of that depth as well. But I could definitely see them splashing big because the money have.
They got money.
On the other hand, Tottenham doesn't really have any money, but I see them go. They're actually going for Ealing Jr. right now. I don't-
Tottenham?
Yeah, so I think they're trying to get him on
Jeez,
loan.
They're going to Serie A,
Yeah, I think they're trying to get him on loan because Ealing can play in multiple positions.
and he's not playing.
They
much
like a
for
winger
Juve.
from Juve. Eh?
and yeah, he's versatile. He's English.
And wait, that
He needs game time.
That also leaves a spot open for Juve
Juve,
for another English player.
Sancho.
Going the other way.
no, but it looks like we might be getting Højbjerg the other way. So
Oh yeah.
I don't. It's looking like it might be maybe a little swap. So if they actually do some to Tottenham, then we might be getting Højbjerg the other way, which I wouldn't want. I would rather have Ealing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
It is what it is, though. We need a CDM. But yeah, those are two teams that need depth, that are fighting for. One's fighting for the league title. Well, right as of right now, they're fighting for the league title, and one's fighting for top 4. Are they gonna make those two things? Probably not. Newcastle has more of a chance, obviously, to make top 4 than Spurs has to win the title.
Newcastle also have Champions League,
Yeah,
and you never know. I mean, that the group that they're in is still up to debate who's coming out. So it's like they're fighting every game for it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
going every week with their starting 11 for both games, Premier League and Champions League.
their Champions League is gonna come to an end.
Yeah, how do you know?
Their Champions League is gonna come to an end pretty soon. So they'll be fine.
We'll see.
For me, I believe Spurs will definitely not finish in top 4, like you guys were saying.
Not finish in top 4.
No
Ooh.
chance, bro. You're missing your 2 best players. Madison, he's been, some would say, arguably the best mid in the Prem this season.
Yeah.
Him and Gallagher up there for sure. And then you're missing Van de Ven, also one of the best center backs in the league this season.
Probably the best.
2
to be
big
honest.
losses, and these guys are injured for months. There's no way Spurs are gonna be able to maintain and keep on winning games like they have been since like the start of the season. And like we said, there's no depth, right? Who's gonna replace Van de Ven?
I think it's gonna be Dyer, but he's not gonna do the job.
Exactly. Who's gonna replace Madison? Who's doing his
No
job?
one.
Exactly. So that's why Spurs are not gonna finish top 4. And I want to talk about Van de Ven. Van de Ven has that curse of being a white player with pace and power, but he doesn't have the genetics to recover after that injury. We've seen that happen with Kaká. We've seen that happen with Gareth Bale. Van de Ven is the next one, man. White player with pace and power. Can't keep up with the DNA, bro. It's finished.
Think he's done?
It's interesting.
It's finished, bro. Because it was what? It was a non-contact injury. It was his
It was
what?
his hamstring.
His
Yeah,
hamstring,
it's
right?
hamstring.
And he's a tall player too. He's very tall.
He's like 6'4".
So, man, you saw the talent he had, and he has basically. But
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, he can come back from this and just be at his normal pace. Because him and Romero, like people were saying it too. I saw some tweets saying he was like Romero's the dog, but he's like the owner.
Yeah,
That's
he
crazy.
cleans everything up. Yeah,
He would clean up, and he would also tell Romero what to do. Because at the end of the day, Romero needs that.
yeah.
Romero doesn't need another center back partner that's just like him, because then there's both could be with their heads
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the air.
Unless it's Otamendi, then it
Yeah.
works.
But Otamendi's similar. Otamendi, I think, has that
100%.
experience to kind of keep him, kind of chained up
Check.
and leashed.
Yeah.
And Van de Ven was kind of similar. Like if Romero made a mistake or there was a ball over the top, he had that recovery pace to win it back pretty much every time. Right? He's insanely rapid. We saw it last season with Wolfsburg as well. He was one of the best center backs in the Bundesliga. Obviously now coming to the Premier League and continuing that form. But I think it's going to be tough too because you know, a lot of his game relied on that pace. And, you know, coming back from this hamstring injury, will he still have that same fleet of foot? Who knows, right? Like we saw, he might not, dude.
Genetics can't keep up with
It's
it, bro.
hamstring.
Hamstring is
How do you think you run, dude? Use your hamstring.
Yeah, you're running.
No, but
It's going to affect his running.
okay, but this is not like
He tore his hamstring.
okay, yes. This is an injury that it's not like an ACL injury that he's gonna have problems running. He's gonna be running the exact same.
You think?
Yes, it doesn't affect your running. It just you have a higher chance of it tearing again.
So you don't think he loses that explosiveness?
No,
I don't know, dude.
no.
I think it affects him. Even if it's not physically, it's mentally. Like now, every time he's going for this sprint, he's gonna think like, "Oh, I need to maybe take it a little bit easier because I don't want this hamstring to tear again." Then I'm out for another 2 months, 3 months.
No.
It takes a toll on you mentally too. These injuries, you know, especially something like that.
Definitely not after the first time.
It does, dude.
No.
And something like that is a recurring injury. Like it's something that if you're not careful and you don't treat it right and you're not careful, it can keep happening.
As someone who pulls I don't never tore it, but as someone who pulls their hamstring very often, I could guarantee you it does not.
A pull and a tear is very different.
I know, but I'm saying
Apples and
You
oranges,
have
bro.
lost your speed though.
okay, but that's from age.
From age.
He's getting older too, no?
No, but he's still young. He's still in his prime.
You have.
I don't know,
you're
dude.
Still young,
No, not
Bro, players hit their prime at what? 28?
no, not
Yeah,
pace
this guy's
prime.
28.
Pace prime is when you're younger.
Okay, dude.
That's how it works.
This guy, bro.
Okay, pal.
No,
Yeah.
Doctor.
Doctor's Fauci.
no, but seriously, as someone that pulls hamstrings very often, a tear is very similar. It's just there's a tear and it has to recover. It'll recover. It'll recover.
Kid doc.
It recovers. So you're not. It's not going to be anything different.
All right.
This is a longer recovery.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do surgery on it.
No.
Okay. So then.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, right? We'll see. Hopefully, he can come back, you know, and still have that, you know, effect on Spurs.
That factor.
Because obviously he's been a fantastic signing for them thus
He'll be
far.
fine.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you boys. I don't see them finishing top 4, in my personal opinion. I think there's a lot of teams that will kind of creep up there. And I definitely think they're not in the title race. I think the title race for now is a 3-horse race between Liverpool, City, and then of course Arsenal as well. Yeah, I think top 4. I think maybe you see United sneak in there for Spurs.
No.
No, I got Spurs on the top 4.
I don't know, bro. Because I think top 2 is like cemented. Like easy, City,
I don't think
and
it's that
Arsenal.
easy.
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
No,
Liverpool,
I thought you were going to
dude.
say Liverpool.
Nah.
Liverpool are a better
I'm
team than
sorry,
Arsenal.
Liverpool are better than Arsenal.
But will they finish higher?
Yeah,
I think
Liverpool
so.
are going to win the league.
Nah.
If it's
Well,
not
no,
City, it's going to be
I
Liverpool.
have.
Arsenal aren't
yeah.
going to win the league. I can tell you that right now.
Second place.
They're not mentally there yet, man.
And I think Liverpool
Liverpool
have a better
Yeah.
team.
They don't have a 6.
They have everything else. Arsenal
Arsenal have a 9.
Arsenal have a striker.
They have no.
They've been
nine.
able to make do
Arsenal
without.
don't have a goalie.
Liverpool can make it without it too.
Arsenal have a goalie.
Eh.
They don't have a goalie.
Yeah,
How?
it's true.
Or right back.
Dude, both of their goalies are mid at best.
Yeah.
Neither of those keepers you're going to win the league with.
And Liverpool
sorry.
don't have that dressing room
Ooh.
drama.
That's like when
Well,
Liverpool were trying to
especially
win the league with Karius in net. It wasn't going to happen.
Just like Liverpool now trying to win the league without a 6. It's not gonna happen.
I think it can happen. They have the players that can fill in there if necessary. They still have Thiago.
Still have Gravenberch.
Gravenberch.
Dunzo, come on.
Dude, Endo.
Thiago?
Endo is as good as a 6 as Nketiah as a striker,
Nah,
in my opinion.
different roles.
Exactly, but it can still be done. And I think at the end of the day, like they can still get it done. And I think, you know, they have the firepower up top, and it's just a matter of them, you know, eventually finding a way to click. And you know, I think Konate and Van Dijk is probably still one of the best partnerships in
A
the
lot of people
league.
saying Van Dijk's looking like not fully that 1 year, but he's looking really good.
He hasn't since that injury.
But this year's been looking very good.
Yeah,
Solid.
and Konate's taken another step, and he's kind of, you know, starting to fulfill that potential that they signed him for.
Yeah.
So I think, I think it's definitely gonna be interesting. It's nice to have that third team that's going to be, I think, fighting for it this year steadily. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I want to talk about United. So United got a win over Luton Town 1-0. But I want to talk more so about Erik ten Hag. So comparing their first 50 PL games, how many points these managers got. So Ten Hag, after his first 50 PL games, 96 points. Klopp, 92. And Arteta, 75. So should United fans be patient? Or is it Ten Hag out?
I think it's honestly. I think at this point, I think Ten Hag is going to stay because you don't really have a better alternative, at least a glaringly obvious one. And obviously, you said the points kind of speak for themselves. But I think another thing to remember is I think Ten Hag probably would have spent much more money than those other two
100%.
managers involved as well, especially at that point in their careers tenure with the club. So I think that kind of has to have a role in there as well. Yes, he's gotten more points than those two gaffers, but if he's spent more and more money, his expectations should naturally be higher.
Yeah.
And maybe is he not achieving those expectations that the budget that he spent warrants, right? Because when he's spending money like that, you're almost looking like you're talking like title challenging, right? Like top 4 is almost expected, but you maybe have to go a little bit above that when you're spending that kind of money, right? But I think, they do have to be patient with him a little bit longer. They haven't had the best of luck when it comes to injuries. And although they've spent the money, I don't think the recruitment's necessarily been the best as well. So, you got to give him a little bit more time. I think he's going to at least get this season unless things go real south. Like maybe if they don't qualify for Champions League, maybe even Europa League, like if they finish dead last in the group, I think there's going to be some alarm bells ringing there. And especially if that form kind of carries over into the league, things can get messy. But I think the fact that he still has them, only 4 points or 5 points off the top, I think that's kind of what's keeping his job, at least a little bit secure right now.
Yeah, because him not making top 4 is very possible and very realistic.
Oh, yeah, very possible. And what frightens me the most is that he's getting these 1-0 wins, man, and against these smaller teams, which those are the results that are kind of keeping him in the position. I don't know. I feel like sometimes you want him to lose those games if you want him to get out. You know what I mean? But because he's winning these games where they're they're very lackluster. It's 1-0 games, comes down to the last minute, he's winning them 1-0. And it's like it's still not looking good. You gotta be facing these teams like Luton Town and winning like 3-0. These 1-0 wins are not doing anything for him. So
yeah, I think at the end of the day, like a win's a win. 3 points is 3 points at the end of the day. Like the football definitely is the prettiest, but with that taking into consideration, the fact that they're still able to get results here and there, even though they're not playing with a defined style, I think is good, right? Because I think you see teams a lot of times they don't have that defined play style, they drop points. But the fact that they're still able to get points means they're doing obviously something right. But I agree, a team like Luton, I think you have to be scoring more than 1 goal against Luton for sure. But I think the offense this year has definitely been kind of what's letting United down. Yeah. Another question I got for you guys, a little bit of a cheeky one. I saw some rumors on the timeline this weekend, circulating around Bruno Fernandes and Saudi Arabia, £100 million pound offer.
Let him go, man.
Some big offers coming in.
Let him go
from Saudi Arabia. So I guess I pose the question to you guys, right? If you're a United fan, you have Bruno on your team. Do you want to see him gone? Like, would you sell him?
No.
Let him go and take Anthony for free.
The only concern I have with Bruno, and I feel like a lot of people have the same issue, isn't his quality. Because we all know he's a quality player. He gains results. He's the one who's scoring these 1-0 wins. The last couple of games, he's scoring again on the volleys, whatever it is. But he's scoring these goals that are getting us results.
Mm-hmm.
But is he a captain?
No.
Is he the player to go out there and be like, "Hey guys, we're in deep shit here, but we gotta fight. Whatever it's Ten Hag or not, you're here on this team and you're playing for the badge.
You guys don't have a captain.
This is Manchester United, and you got to play for it. Does he play for the badge sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up. He's there. He's present.
passionate.
He's passionate. But is he a little too passionate? Where some players, like this guy always complains. This guy's always whining. This guy's always doing this. This is always that. Like, how can we, as a leader, he has to set the example. Rather than having Garnacho now that he's a young player, right, to complaining as well about everything happening to him.
You kind of have that mentality spread amongst the rest of the team.
You get the F up and you start playing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's moments where, some of these players are missing opportunities, open nets. Like in last game again against Luton Town, like Garnacho could have at least 3 goals, but he's not making the right decisions.
Yeah.
It's a guy like Fernandes, dude, get your fucking head up, right? Like it's whatever happened. We move on.
Yeah.
But again, he's the one that's again showing up last minute. Maguire too, sure, he's having those some performances that are better than others, but it's not consistent, and we don't have that leader on the pitch where it's like, okay, he's fighting for the badge, we got to do it, right? So That's where the big thing of with Fernandes is. If he leaves, he leaves. But we need to find someone who can put that captain's armband on and be a leader.
Yeah.
Because quality comes and goes, right? End of the day, if you're a leader forever. And that's why some of these legends in the game, like, you look at them like, that guy's a leader. He's always been a leader. Like, he's always been a captain, right? So
you selling him or keeping him?
if we get the right return for him, if it's 100, what do you say, 100 what?
Let's say it's like anywhere between 80 and 100 million for Bruno. Are you taking that?
It's just hard to see what the options are right now for him.
Is he someone that you can see United building around? Does it make sense to build around him?
No.
He's 28, 29
No.
or now.
Dude, if it's me, I'm taking that money and I'm running
100%.
to the
But then your
bank.
top 4 chances.
But
Are
the thing
gone.
is,
Or what, the same?
No, they're not.
no, but for me,
But he
if
makes him out
anything,
there.
if anything,
No.
like,
80 million.
Yeah, Mount, yeah.
60 million.
if anything, like, man,
And he's
it's
younger.
hard to really build teams around players nowadays. Unless they're world class, like, dude, this guy's careers can end tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, you're building a team around one guy. Okay, like, really? Like, if you want a talented squad, Madrid's, whatever it is, they don't build around one player, man. Their whole team is built
Whole
around
team's
a
built, but-
philosophy, a style of play where
But sometimes
every
it's still
player
built
does
on-
their role. Every player does their position right. It's not
Yeah.
like, he's the best player on the team. He's playing week in, week out. We need to build around him so he can be successful. No, it's not like that anymore. I don't think so.
But sometimes it's built around like a focal point in the team.
Yeah, but Bruno isn't that focal point, man. He's playing left wing sometimes,
Who
he's playing
is
right
the
mid
focal
sometimes.
point?
We don't know. That's why Ten Hag doesn't have that.
So I think, like, in my opinion,
A
if
style where
he's
it's
not the
like-
focal point, I would sell him.
I
Get
would.
rid of
I
him.
would. I would.
Yeah.
I would.
I would say Bruno is the focal point in when they play the weaker
In
teams.
attack?
No, but even last year, you can say maybe Rashford was more focal because he was playing off that last man, going into 1v1 to the goal, breaking players in the defensive lines and scoring goals. What's he now? Useless. He's literally
Yeah.
nothing compared to last year.
He'll
you-
get it.
And he's getting his own.
eventually
He's getting
again.
his own boot deal.
Would you guys sell Rashford?
I would sell Rashford.
If he's for the price, yes. No player on this team deserves to stay on this team.
So no one's safe.
No one's safe.
Really?
I would
no
say
one's safe.
McTominay deserves to stay.
Who?
McTominay. What a
Man,
legend.
he was even in discussion to leave early this season.
What a legend. I would
Right?
keep McTominay. He's cheap.
But
You take him at Juve?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Damn.
he'd be
He
your,
is
he'd
six,
be your
right?
best midfielder.
We need a
probably.
CDM, so
See, I think it'd be tough to sell Bruno because, like, the way it seems like United fans talk about him, like, they dislike him. But the thing is, like, he's the one that comes in, like, those clutch situations. He'll get you
That's
that
it.
goal.
That's
He'll
what
score
it
that
is. That's all
penalty.
it
But
is.
besides that, like, what else does he offer?
He doesn't
kinda?
influence
he
the
has,
game.
He has those, like, flashes of brilliance, like, here and there. But besides that,
Just like Ten Hag,
what
those
else,
moments
right?
are saving him. Just
Yeah.
like Ten Hag, those moments are saving him. If it wasn't for those moments, Bruno's garbage.
Yeah.
He's not providing for anyone else. Okay, you're scoring the goals, but, like, again, those are those moments where
Yeah.
not for fortune or anything, but you're getting those goals.
Yeah.
And they're against Luton Town, they're against Copenhagen, they're against the weakest side, and then we're here like, oh, we're back. Oh yeah, Fernandes is a clutch player, or Ten Hag is in. Next week comes around, face City, whoever it is, you lose 4-0.
Yeah.
What improvement do you get winning 1-0 against Luton Town? Those are statement games where we're here, we win 4-0, 5-0.
yeah. I feel like it's the same kind of football that they play under Solskjaer. What was it? What do we call it? Moment football?
Moments FC. Yeah.
Moments FC. Like, it's the same thing. Like, different manager, because this guy was supposed to be unreal because he made that he did make that Ajax team a very good team, but he also had a lot of talent on that team. This team, he brought a lot of talent to it, but he's not doing the same thing. It's just the same thing, Moments FC. And it's Bruno with those moments. Bruno does save you guys a lot. Like, I'm not going to say he doesn't.
For sure.
He doesn't impact the game in the bigger games where he needs to impact it because he's supposed to be that player that's going to impact those big games. He just doesn't do it in the big games. But
he's the only world class player on that team.
yeah, I
too.
was going to
So,
say,
like,
would I sell him? Because if you really think about it, without Bruno Fernandes, you guys would not be competing for top 4 because against those small.
100%. But I'm saying, thanks to his results in the moment right now, that we're somewhere, in top 10, whatever it is. But again, is that good enough? No.
I would say it is for what you need right now.
But
Because
if we had Bruno Fernandes and we had a captain on the team who still elevated the players mentality and has that brings the morale up and keeps the fight going within their every game coming in and out, and like, we get red cards, sure, but let's keep going. Like, no, he's the one complaining on the pitch as much as every other player out there.
no, he's a brat. But
he's a brat.
okay. So what my argument was, he's probably going to bring you into top 4 most likely. or he's going to be the guy to do it because he's the only guy in United that could really do it. Rashford could only do it for 3 months in a year. But you making Champions League is probably going to make that money that you're going to get for Bruno. So is it worth selling Bruno?
But then we're at the same page next year.
Yeah, I feel like Bruno is.
It's gonna keep on going
Yeah.
until you switch
I know.
something.
It's
but
going to be a
you
status
have no
quo.
replacement for him.
It's
But
going to be a
that's it,
status
yeah,
quo.
That's
with
why you
Bruno.
can't sell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't sell him.
I think you
Sell
I
him
think
in
you I think you
January,
almost
100
have
million,
to.
and then you get some.
It can't be in January though. It
In
can't
the
be
summer, why
mid-season.
not?
I would get rid of him end of season. Yes, mid-season it doesn't make sense right now. But if it's a fresh start again, yes. But again, like at this point in time, I feel like it's gotten to a point where things can't be changed. It's like you're already kind of down too much, where things can't be changed as quickly.
But would you sell him if Ten Hag's still there in the summer?
Yeah, I would sell him no matter what.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not that like. If you think about the top 5, top 10 teams in the world, would Bruno make any of those teams? No, he would not start for any of those teams. Not even one. I don't even know if he would get subbed on for that much time.
Like
He doesn't play for Portugal that much.
yeah.
Like he's not this big world beater player. He's great against small teams. I'm trying to think of a player that did the exact same thing to give you an example, but like he's not that guy. He's great against small teams. He can't do it when it actually matters. But
Thing is, United need him though.
they do. But that's why you do it at the beginning of the transfer window in the summertime, so you have all that time
to
to
build.
find a replacement and build around what you actually want to build
What
around.
did you say they have the replacement though?
Yeah, what about Mount?
No,
Mason Mount.
that was the dumbest buy I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
It was a weird
where,
one.
where else does he fit but in that position?
Mount is not good. You can't build around Mount.
They're different kind of players for sure. I think like with Bruno there, I think you're peaked. Like I don't think you're gonna get any better than you are now. No matter what players you surround him with, no matter what 9 you buy, no matter what winger you buy,
Yeah,
no
I
matter
agree.
what 6 you buy, no matter what center backs you buy, no matter what goal you buy, you're stuck in the same place because he's still the focal point of the team as a 10, or he's the main kind of creative player in the team. And like I said, beyond a goal or an assist, he doesn't influence the game, right? And it's great that he influences the game sometimes in those key moments. But the best players and the teams that you build the players that you build your team around, they influence the game more than just GA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even when they're not scoring, they're kind of the ones stringing the play along. They're creating chances for their teammates. Maybe it's not the direct pass, but it's the second ball before the assist kind of gets played in. So I think
And off the ball.
off the ball as well. Like I think
But
and mentality.
That's
is kind of
exactly
all
it.
around.
He's not making those moments. You don't see him, or he has to go out of there and create them himself. Okay, you're lucky.
Yeah.
But again, he's not creating anything for anyone else. And when you're the the backbone of the team,
Yeah.
we're building around you.
Yeah.
You're the captain,
Yeah.
and you can't create chances. It's sad in a way where we're kind of dependent on a guy who's grabbing last minute goals against weaker sides,
Yeah.
and where the rest of the team isn't flourishing. And now we're here complaining we're here giving the rest of the team shit, where that's him as like who might be the big problem here. Is it Ten Hag? Is it a specific player? Maybe Ten Hag isn't really to blame. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the players are there. The creativity isn't happening.
He just has to be the one.
Everything is so direct. Everything is so straight.
Yeah.
There's just nothing being creative on the pitch. It's the same football every single weekend.
Yeah.
And at the same time, is Ten Hag able to bench him?
He should be able to do whatever he wants. If he benched Maguire, who was the actual captain,
Yeah.
But there's a difference in quality there. Bruno is quality. He's talented, but he's not providing.
Yeah, I guess the thing is too, if you bench Bruno, and then all of a sudden now this game against Luton you come out with a 0-0 draw instead of a 1-0 because no one else stepped up, then it's on you, right? And then you're dropping points. Now your job's on the line, so I don't think he's ever going to do that. Especially because, like we said, they don't necessarily have a player that can step in and fill that role. Mount, I don't think is that guy. Like Eriksson, I think is injured now. They still have Donny van de Beek, but that guy
What's
fell
that
off
guy saying, bro?
crazy too, right? So I definitely think like if I'm United, you kind of have to build around this new era. Like you have Rashford who's going to be there. Højlund, I think, is a player that you can build around.
He's so good.
And I think
he's
you
so
need
good.
to, you need to surround him with creative players that are going to allow him to do what he does best, right?
He gets chances, but I feel like that he's not given as many chances where he's like, if he screws one up, okay, the next one he'll get it, but there's no next one.
Yeah. Welcome to Vladic's world, man.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a good player. He gets in the right position, but there's like no one finds him, no one feeds him. The one time he's there, it sucks that he got that shot right at who were they facing, but he literally shot it right at the goalie. Was it Ederson when they faced City? I forgot what it was. I forgot what game it was.
I
But
remember.
literally, like he's in the right spots. He has the right movements. He's quick and everything. But it just like there's nothing going forward.
Yeah.
Nothing going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But speaking of players that could actually create chances, I don't know how
Sheesh.
true this is, but apparently Santi Cazorla is requesting to retire at the Emirates. His wish is Mikel Arteta to give him just one free game in either the EFL or EPL in January. What do you guys think about this?
Didn't Henri do that when he came back from?
I think he played a season with them though,
Yeah.
or maybe
so-
it was like 10 games.
So what it was because the MLS ended, and then obviously
Oh yeah, the second half of
the
the season.
league ends. MLS season ends before the Premier League, so he just went there after. And so did Beckham. Beckham did the same thing, right? He went to Milan.
No, he went to PSG.
No, PSG. Sorry, he went to PSG during the.
He did it with Milan too though.
And
Yeah.
he did it with Milan. He did do it with Milan. But this is different. Like he wants to retire there.
Just one
And
game.
Why not? Give him one game. Give him a little cup game, and end it off there.
I know he has a different opinion about this, but I'm also pro give Santi Cazorla
He's a legend.
maybe not a prem game because you're
not a prem game.
you're
fighting
trying to you're fighting for
Yeah.
the title, but in a cup match against a smaller team,
Yeah.
why not play him for like 50 minutes and then sum off, let him go around the stadium, get like sign some jerseys,
Yeah.
get a standing ovation. Like he is a legend of Arsenal for sure. Like what he did for Arsenal was great, especially in the like he played there in their worst years, and he
was so
still
good.
was good.
Yeah.
Like just let
Bring
him
him
have
on
it,
in
man.
the 45th. Everyone claps to him, and then bring
Yeah.
him off in the 55th. There you go.
Ozil or Santi Cazorla?
For Arsenal
In their prime, who are you taking?
in their primes. I would take Ozil,
Yeah,
but
also-
Arsenal, because I don't know if Ozil's prime was on Arsenal. I still think like him on Madrid was
it was nasty.
No, but he had some.
on Arsenal. He was
no.
I
disgusting.
think he had just as many good moments in Arsenal as he did for Madrid.
Yeah.
Man.
I think so.
he
I'm
didn't play
pretty
as many big games though.
No, but those moments he's had in Arsenal, those big ones, he had big ones.
He had some crazy goals, some crazy passes too.
Was it Champions League or
Europa League.
Europa League.
You know which one? I'm
That's it.
talking about.
Yeah, that little.
Yeah, the flick.
The little fake shot, and flick it. Yeah.
But yeah, you're obviously gonna remember Ozil's moments. Santi Cazorla's not like a flashy player,
He's a
though,
moments
but,
player.
but he's a
flashy
great
player
player.
too.
No, he's not.
Santi, yeah.
The double
No,
footed,
it's
bro.
not.
Like I was taking free kicks.
Yeah,
with both
Santi was
feet.
great.
Yeah, but he wasn't like Ozil.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's
Yeah, okay. This guy changed up his tune. This guy.
Why? What did he say?
He's
what?
like, oh, imagine, what? He couldn't be my club or something like that,
When did I say that?
bro. Didn't he say that?
I didn't say that.
I'm not too sure. I don't think so.
I didn't
Oh
say
my
that.
God,
You're,
man.
you're hearing
Now they're going
things.
against you.
I said no. I said I like the idea. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
After we said yes, no, you didn't go. No, you're just
I
capping.
didn't.
I,
Matt,
I
did
think you're confused with me.
yeah, you're getting
No,
confused.
it was him.
I was on your side, brother.
No, you weren't.
Matthews was the one who didn't like the idea. He said it was making them seem like a small tin pot club.
Yeah.
So you.
I was
wouldn't- so you
agreeing.
wouldn't?
Okay, maybe it was
There's a
him.
reason that they have testimonial games. It's for reasons like this, to send off a player. You don't send them off in like a league game or a cup game. You do it like at the end of the season, like where you organize a testimonial game and then you clap for the player retiring. That's how you end it off.
I think you can do it. You can do it either way. Like I think
But
it's
he wants. That's the difference because at the end of the day, you want to be. You want it to happen during a game.
yeah.
You know, like where it actually means something. Yeah, testimonial game's cool. It's all pretty and everything, but it's not.
But that's the
same.
reason for it.
Yeah,
that's
but
the reason for
see,
players
I'd
retiring.
rather retire during a game.
There's too much on the line.
I don't know, but that's
Still a game.
Obviously, there's still stuff on the line, but I'd rather do it during a game.
But who knows? Maybe like at the end of the day, like maybe it doesn't have to happen in January. Like I remember it was 2 seasons ago. I think it was the Bender brothers were retiring for Leverkusen, and they they subbed them on. At the end of the game, it was the last game of the season, and then I remember they got a penalty. Like it was already, I think it was like 4-0 Dortmund at that point, and Berkey actually let them score. He let Bender score the penalty to kind of commemorate his last game. So I think
See?
like.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be when they're winning.
Yeah, I
Like,
think at the end of the day, like it doesn't have to be at the beginning of the game and it's like an intense cup match. But I think like if they're wrapped up in a game
Yeah, they can
3-4
find
nil,
a
you
time
can
and
find
do
the
it.
time to do it. It doesn't have to be right away or what have you. But I think you can definitely find like the right time and place
Yeah,
to
I'm
do
sure,
it.
I'm sure Teta's not gonna go. Hey, Santi, come on, we're facing Man City.
Yeah,
80th minutes, 0-0 nail biter.
Free
Go on,
kick.
buddy.
Go
Get
take
him-
the
yeah.
corner with your weak
Come
foot.
on
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Take this free cake for us. on
Olympico.
top of the box.
although to be fair, I mean, hey, he has it in him. So I think if there's a
does,
time, he can do
But
that.
might be the
imagine,
time.
imagine he
Yeah.
scores that.
Yeah, then that's emotional.
And now that's a send off.
Yeah,
That's a send off you don't want. But no, he's gonna find this time to do it. And yeah, like you said, it could be when they're winning by a lot of numbers, or they're losing, or it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, maybe they're losing by quite a bit. They go on, and maybe the other team supports with whatever. I think it's good.
I don't feel like it's gonna be after like in January. I think he said anytime after January.
Yeah, I think in January they probably have to sign him like to a contract and whatnot.
Exactly.
Then he's just on the roster. He's hanging around. Like I'm sure realistically, like Arsenal wouldn't even mind having a player like him in some kind of role after he retires.
Yeah, for
right?
a
Like
mental,
in the academy or whatnot. He seems like Santi strikes me as the kind of guy that's gonna go into some kind of coaching once he's done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he loves the game. He has that kind of intelligence. We've seen other Spanish midfielders,
other midfielders in general, Wilshere as well.
Yeah. So I think why not, sign him on, give him that proper send off, and then he can kind of go into whatever's next with the club.
So it started off with Guardiola doing it for Arteta, and then Arteta does it for Santi, and now Santi becomes the other Spanish midfielder that's coaching.
That'd be crazy.
It's just a cycle.
But speaking of Arsenal, one last thing. This interview was like a while back, but kind of doing the rounds on football Twitter. So basically, Ramsdale was being interviewed by Ian Wright and another player, I believe. And basically, what Ramsdale was saying, like, he can't concentrate during 90 minutes of football. He's like, yeah, I can't really concentrate during a whole game. Like, I'll see the fans singing, I'll sing along with them. If some fans or whoever, the opposition, are giving abuse, I'll give abuse back. And he's basically saying, like, he's like stuck in his head and he can't concentrate on the game. Do you guys think, so basically because of this, his days are outnumbered? Arsenal got a new keeper. Ramsdale's kind of been on the bench, not playing. Do you guys think this is like the worst interview a football player has done that's been a detriment to their career?
Well, you've seen it before. Sometimes in interviews and they get asked a hot topic or something like that, they say, I'd rather not answer. He clearly doesn't care.
I don't even think like he was asked anything controversial. Like it's almost like he voluntarily shared.
That's what I'm saying. Like he actually volunteered to say this. He didn't double think about it.
Like I think like it's also time and place. Like if he's giving this interview and he's retired and he's talking about looking back how he struggled with this, sure, I think that's fine because obviously he overcame it. But I think
he's currently
saying it as he's currently actively playing, and he's on a contract and he's fighting to be a starting keeper for a team. Like it doesn't really show maybe professionalism, in my opinion, because now like if I'm Arteta and I'm watching this, I'm thinking, so why am I going to give you a chance if you can't concentrate on the game? You know what I mean? What if you're not focused in a moment where we need you most? The thing is too, like a team like Arsenal, like when you're playing on a team like Arsenal or City or Bayern Munich, where you're controlling a lot of the ball, your keeper needs to be switched on at all times because you're not, getting shots every 5 seconds and you're not staying, active within the game. A lot of times you're going to have, 10, 15, 20 minutes where you're not seeing a shot. You're not getting a touch on the ball. You need to stay focused because if that counterattack comes and you're not focused on that chance, then you're going to concede, right? You're going to make that mistake. You're going to miss that kick. So I think maybe that's why they got Raya. Like now, Raya's probably there laughing like, stupid boy, yeah.
But now, hear me out.
It's still be though.
Hear me out here now. I don't blame him.
Why?
And I don't think this is. I think this is something that, again, if he was a midfielder, then okay, 100% agree. How are you not concentrated? You're in the middle of the pitch. You're one of the most important people on the field. You should be opening up. You should be getting ready, finding another position. But he's a goalkeeper. Arsenal are taking a corner kick. Why does he have to be focused?
What do you mean? Why does it have to be focused?
At that point,
you got to be clicked.
No, but at that point, you do hear the fans because the ball is all the way on the other side on a set piece on a dead ball. On a dead ball, you're not gonna start. You don't hear this. You're gonna hear someone calling your name. Like,
okay,
yeah, I understand that too, 100%.
But if you're Arteta and you see this happening, you see Ramsdale constantly, turning back around, talking to some fans, to some guys that are heckling to him. What are you gonna say about that? You gotta say you have to concentrate.
100%. But if any player on the field were to be the one that would not stay focused, I think that it's a goalie.
Yeah, for sure. But
at the end of the day, a goalie is because first of all they have the least touches on the ball.
Not always.
No, it's always.
Always have the least touches.
Not always. Strikers, bro. Look at guys like Haaland,
yeah,
bro. Haaland.
Ederson probably has more touches than Haaland.
Yeah, but a striker's what is he supposed to be doing? He's supposed to be making runs, finding space. A goalie, he's supposed to stay in his box. between these
No.
two posts.
Not necessarily. Not
most
nowadays.
Most goalies.
Not really. I would say it's almost the opposite now. Now they're almost expected to be part of build-up. All teams now, they use goalie as part of the build-up. And I think, like, either way, sure, the corner is on the other side of the field. Sure, you have time to kind of get focused. But that, like, lapse in concentration can be the difference of you charging out for a loose ball and winning that ball and retaining possession for your team, or the other team kind of nicking that ball away from you. We've seen it so many times where there's that kind of one-on-one battle between a striker with a ball over a top and the goalie coming out. If the goalie is taking a second too long, the striker nicks that ball around them and there's an open goal. Or maybe he's like, oh, I can't make that ball, and he stays in net. He's kind of caught in two minds, and it's tricky, right? So I think you're right. Like, sure, if there's any player that can maybe afford to be a little less concentrated, maybe it's a goalie. But I still don't think you should be giving an interview like that. In my opinion, while you're professionally signed for a club in the Premier League, Arsenal, playing in the Champions League and all these different cups, and you're fighting for that. You're fighting for your position. It's not like you're the clear number one and you're a world beater of a goalie. Like, if Neuer gave that interview, sure, that's fine. He's probably one of the best goalies of all time. He's shown that he can do it no matter what. But Ramsdale, there's still question marks around him. I wouldn't be having an interview like that if there's people questioning my ability. Yeah. Right? It's not even like he's the starting goalie for the national team. Like, what does he have going for him? Yeah. The fact that he's gotten relegated multiple times with multiple clubs. Yeah. That's it.
We talked about this before. You said this came out right before he started.
Yeah.
Staying on the bench. So Arteta definitely
saw this.
It was definitely in his mind, Arteta, and he probably realized it watching the film back, because now that I'm trying to think about it, I do I have seen Ramsdale talking to a lot of fans.
I have too.
Like on TV.
Oh, I've noticed it too.
No, for sure.
No, you do. For sure. Yeah.
Have.
But my only question is now, when has Ramsdale not performed?
Yeah, I don't think it affected his.
Has it
I
affected
don't
his
think it's ever
game?
affected his
Has
game.
he been caught? Has he been caught like distracted ever? Has he been like?
He hasn't necessarily been like.
But
there's
again,
a reason they went and signed Raya.
But
Raya is not exactly a world beater. Like they.
Well, Raya is not a goalie that runs out like Neuer. He's not. He's doing the exact same thing as Ramsdale.
No, he's better on the ball, but he does a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
they both do.
They both do the same mistakes.
That's why people are questioning their goalie situation.
It's just showing weakness in Ramsdale. And
yeah.
Do you want that on your team?
You want your keeper to be you want to be most sure of your keeper, because now if you're Saliba and Gabriel, you're watching this, you're thinking, is Aaron here? Is he checked in? If the ball's coming over the top, does he even realize the ball's coming over the top, or do I need to make sure I'm running back? Like,
man's got voices in his head.
Now you're not putting doubt just in the gaffer, but now your backline is thinking like, oh, is he checked in? It's like the difference like when Bayern play and they have Neuer in net versus literally any other goalie that they've had in the past years. You can tell there's a difference in their swagger and their confidence, because you know your goalie's checked in and he's going to be there. But now it's like if your goalie's giving interviews like this, maybe you have that doubt in your mind where you're now second guessing what you should do,
bro.
You never want.
You know what Ramsdale needs? You guys know those videos on TikTok where it'll be like a commentary video and it's like Subway Surfers playing in the background, bro. That's what Ramsdale needs, bro. He needs Subway Surfers playing in the background during games. Crazy.
Just keeping him focused.
100%, bro.
I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't smart of him to say that in an interview, but like I said again, I think he had it with Ian Wright, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Ian Wright, he made that face, right? Supposedly that he was like, what are you talking about? But he wouldn't understand, I think, because he's not a goalie. And I think most players wouldn't understand. So at the end of the day, maybe you ask another guy, a goalkeeper, and sometimes I don't pay attention. Like, it's just part of the game. Like, I hear all these things in my ears. People are right behind me. At the end of the day, you got to realize that too. The fans are right behind them, yelling random shit to their ears, talking something about their mothers, or anything. That can get to anyone. And if the ball's all over there, like, yeah, you don't focus sometimes. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be saying that. And it's hard. Yeah, I can see why they probably took him out.
So is this the worst interview a footballer has made that's been a detriment to their career?
It could be. I just don't know enough of these interviews.
Lukaku's has to be it.
Yeah, Lukaku.
Cristiano with Piers Morgan.
Oh,
no, but Cristiano kind of worked out because he got out of United.
Did it work out?
Kinda. He's in Saudi making a shit ton of money.
But what's better for his legacy if he stayed at United and possibly won something?
They didn't want him at United.
Winning
He wasn't
something
gonna win
in
anything.
Saudi.
They didn't want him at United. So he found a way to get out, and he got out. I think, you know what? Think about it, Lukaku's.
You think so, Lukaku?
Yeah.
What he said in that interview was mad.
Because
That was crazy.
It's not only the interview; it's what happened after the interview. Like
Yes.
she said that
I loved Inter.
Inter.
I came here to take another chance at the Premier League, but I love Inter. I would do anything to go back to Inter.
Then he goes
Inter
back
has
to
my
Inter.
heart. And now he's at Roma.
Yeah, he goes back to Inter. And then after loving Inter so much, obviously his loan done to Chelsea, Inter was going to actually buy him out. And then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore you for a little bit and check everyone else's calls. Maybe Juventus is calling. You know what? Maybe I'll go to Juve.
And now he's at Roma.
And now he's at Roma. So, yeah, definitely Lukaku. Just because the after story.
Well,
Aftermath.
Lukaku's still playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Ramsdale isn't.
to Lukaku, Inter was like that girl that you have locked up. You know what I mean? Like you're able to go back to her whenever you need to.
Wow.
All
Yeah, I mean-
reliable, eh?
Yeah, the old reliable, right? Meanwhile, he's trying to try out the new girl, see if he can do something with that.
But then
If it doesn't work out, you can.
But then
hello,
your old
Inter,
girl
I'm coming
realizes
back.
you're better off without him. 'Cause now look at
Inter finally found out. You know what? I have morals. I have values.
Yeah.
And you know what? Why am I going to stick with this guy when someone else could treat me better?
Yeah.
Look, they got the ram.
And now they have Marcus Thuram,
See?
treating them way better.
So if
Roma-
any ladies out there, you're in trouble and
Roma's the
you're in the same
rebound.
situation, look at Thuram. He's out there for you.
Go find your Marcus Thuram.
So Roma's the side thing.
Yeah. Take in Inter. Juve just did that just to screw around with Inter. And it kind of
Juve
worked
were
out.
the sneaky link. They never had a chance.
Oh my
That's
god.
We never had a chance. Juve?
Yeah.
Juve could have had him if they wanted him.
No.
What are you talking about? Juve. He wanted Juve.
Bro, Vlahovic is still there, man.
No.
You guys don't even want Vlahovic.
Dude.
You
You guys would have had like 6 strikers and you still wouldn't play them.
But
You would have had
anyways,
Lukaku, Milik, and Vlahovic on the bench together.
Milik
chilling.
wasn't
Same
signed.
thing.
Moise Kean.
Moise Kean.
Milik wasn't signed at the time.
speaking of having a chance, this player possibly might have a chance. Could have won a Ballon d'Or. Might have a chance winning a Ballon d'Or. Antoine Griezmann over the weekend led Atleti to a 2-1 comeback against Villarreal with a goal and an assist. 12 goals, 1 assist in 16 games in all comps this season. Tied for second most goals in club history. And he surpassed 300 goals in his career right now. Diego Simeone was saying, we have to win something important so that Griezmann can win a Ballon d'Or.
This season, this year, Griezmann's on demon time.
Facts.
This is gonna be his best season in his life. I think. I truly think so, and I think he just has this mentality where he's like, "My time is now." I think that's what it came down to.
Can't see me.
Didn't
My
work out
time
at
is now.
Barcelona, came back to Atletico, and I think my time's now. I gotta show these, and I think that's another thing. He's got to kind of regain Atletico's hearts, the fans,
I think he has at this
I
point.
think he has it.
and I think 100% he has at this point. But I think that's why he's been also he kind of like another level to his game because of that. And look, like he's not just providing goals, assisting, but he's such a key player in every other thing that he does. Dropping back down, correcting ball, opening up space. Let's just see what he could do with France now, right?
Yeah, if he wins the Euro, he could definitely be in the Ballon d'Or talks again. Because
Yeah,
he could have
I mean-
won it the year he won the World Cup.
Yeah.
How many people
Some said
see
he
that?
was robbed.
Yeah. And with Messi and Ronaldo out, his direct competition is his other French partner, Mbappe, right?
Kylian,
So-
yeah.
We.
And in Bellingham. And Kane.
And Haaland.
Yeah.
And Haaland.
Yeah. No, but I love Griezmann.
Yeah,
I
Griezmann,
think
bro.
he's just absolutely wonderful. Wonderful player. And like we've seen him develop too. Like he started off as a winger.
After he had Sociedad.
Sociedad, like it was just a pure winger, and then it kind of got moved more central, was playing striker. Now sometimes he's almost playing as like an 8 in some games for France as well. So I think he's one of those players that his age like fine wine,
Yeah.
and his intelligence has carried him through. Because a lot of players you see them lose their speed,
Exactly what
and
I
you
was gonna
finish
say.
a little bit, right? But Griezmann lost his speed. He's like, okay, I can be more of a poacher, I can be a creator. And now he's like, I can use my engine and my intelligence to impact the game on multiple levels. But now I'm like, I could still score goals. Doesn't matter where you put me, I'm going to impact the game.
And I think some players, some of the best players, kind of forget that. They still think they have that pace, that power, and they're not able to switch into another type of play style that would best suit them and suit the team. Like you said, Griezmann realized I don't have the pace, and another player like Messi, I don't have the pace. Let me drop into that role where I can start creating for other players.
Yeah.
And it's like you see his mentality in that as well, right? It's hard for some players to recognize I don't have the pace anymore. People are like, I'm still gonna try doing it. no, I don't have the pace. Let me get better at my passing, at my mentality, and doing all this. And you see the fruits of his labor. Like he's doing amazing now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's unreal. But I wouldn't say that he like ever had like this blistering pace. He just
Yeah, he wasn't really known for being like
Yeah.
rapid. Like
He
that.
was
Quick.
He was quick on the wing
his
more than anything.
he's so smart
Yeah.
that it puts him like one step ahead of everyone else. I know I'm gonna go back to a Juve player, but he reminds me a lot of Carlos Tevez, just because
That's a crazy
just because
comparison.
Yeah, that's fair.
the defensive work that he does, the calmness on the ball, the dribbling, his shooting ability, his passing ability, like he reminds me of Tevez a lot, and he was another player that aged like fine wine.
Yeah.
Quick question. Do you think Juve was Tevez's prime?
Yeah,
Ooh.
it was.
Really?
It was.
Mm.
He could have had a prime at different clubs, but he was
How many years was he at Juve?
3.
Damn.
He had
He
some,
was nasty at Juve.
he had some pretty good days with United.
No, I'm saying like he could have his prime could have been at another team, but he was too much in like the news and stuff, and he didn't play
Media.
all the time because of it. So his full seasons, then it's definitely Juve because he was never in the news for the wrong reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. Griezmann, keep it up, boys.
Yeah, it's crazy because like with Griezmann,
Couldn't
like
do it, Barca.
with him at Barca, it was right place, wrong time.
100%.
Because he was
Yeah.
there when Messi was there, and him and Messi couldn't coexist on the same team because they want to play that similar role, right?
Yeah.
Can you just think of this? Griezmann under Lewa.
Yeah, Lewandowski wouldn't have to track back and
Oh
try
my
to dictate
gosh,
like
what
he's
a-
been doing.
That's a perfect fit right there.
That would be tasty.
Why do you gotta
That would have
imagine
been
that?
amazing.
Why do you got to imagine that?
What do you mean?
When we got Morata and Griezmann, that's better.
What?
Yeah, it has been. Because they're both on what, like double-digit goals, I think?
Yeah, Morata's
Something like that.
been balling out too. No one's noticing.
I don't care about Morata, bro. That guy's going to Juve again, supposedly.
Good.
That guy has no loyalty.
Money launder player, bro.
Guy has no loyalty.
It's crazy because I was calling Griezmann cardio man back in his Barca days, but I didn't appreciate the talent. And
You're too
Oh,
quick. You're too quick
I-
to write these guys off.
See, when we first signed him, I knew he was a quality player, but I knew right away he didn't fit the system.
Yeah.
Right away, I knew it. Right away, he's not going to fit the system. He's not going to do good here.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he come? He's a messy player. He's not a winger, like we say. He's not a winger. He's not that fast. So now we see what he can really do.
But yeah, speaking of performance, Girona are now the best team in Europe's top 5 leagues. They have the most points out of every top 5 team in Europe or top 5 league in Europe. 34 points. Can we see another fairy tale type run like Leicester did with Girona? Or is that a one-off kind of thing?
You know what? You know what's crazy? Who is Girona's best player? Can anyone name a Girona player in general?
Yeah.
Eric
I
Garcia.
can name
Two
quite a few.
Ukrainians. Savio has been lighting it up on the wing.
Jan Kuto.
But not many people
Yankutol,
know about this.
Eric Garcia.
Not many people know in general who if like Garcia would be in first place. You ask a guy in the Prem who's first in La
but
Liga,
you-
they don't know.
Yeah, but you can't ask
Right?
Prem fans anything sometimes. But Girona were playing good football last season as well. Like they obviously weren't in first place, but they played good football towards the end of last year. So I think you can say like you saw this coming. Like
But they also did lose their best player, I would say, Castellanos.
Castellanos.
He went to Lazio,
yeah,
but I guess they were smart enough. I don't know who they have under like their what's it called?
well they're owned by Citigroup, so they're always going to be making smart purchases, right?
That's the
Like
thing.
and that signing of Sigankov from Dynamo Kiev
Mhm.
was just an absolute peach of a signing. Like that was someone who was being linked with teams like Dortmund and Leverkusen and your Newcastles, like top sides. And then they just sneak in, cheeky bid, they sign him, and he's been a very, very, very under the radar, like class signing for them. Tricky winger who can score and assist, and they play as a team. Like they have a system, the players believe in the philosophy, and they cook, right? So I think Garcia's gone there too, and he's fit in, seamlessly with how they want to play football. So it's nice to see. It's refreshing to see those teams. It's just going to be hopefully, maybe they can keep some of these players around a little bit longer. I know a few of them are on loan from City, but it's always a shame when these teams get like broken up after that one season, and they just all get snatched up. But I can see them doing it because I think like Barca haven't looked necessarily convincing this season. Maybe Madrid have their eyes more on Champions League, whereas Girona, they just have to focus on the league. Like they're just gonna stay focused, go game by game. But it's gonna come down to the games against the big teams. Like can Girona get a result against Barca? Can they get a result against Madrid when they play again? Can they get a result against Atleti? Because if they can, they have a fighting chance. But if they start dropping points to those big teams, then maybe you see them drop to third, fourth place, which would still be fantastic for them. But it might be leaving them thinking like, what could have been if we, showed up in those big games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe we could see a Leicester City season like we did last. That was 2016?
13 maybe?
2015. No?
2015.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy though. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, at the end of the day, if Barca don't win, at least it's not Madrid.
Yeah.
Wow.
As long as
At
it's not
least
Madrid.
It's not Madrid.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be mad. The only thing is, again, like we said before, I'm pretty sure in the pod, if they do become a top 4 team, I think Man City have to sell, if not all, most of their percentage of the team.
Yeah, or find a way to
Or
readjust
find a way
it.
to.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll
make
find a
some
way
loophole.
around it.
Yeah. They're
Because-
probably already looking into it. They got lawyers.
Yeah,
They're fine.
They've got. But yeah, it would be a cool story. You'll definitely see a Netflix
Doc.
special.
Yeah,
on
they're
that.
probably
On
getting,
Friday.
Prime documentary.
Yeah,
Probably getting recorded right now
yeah,
Yeah.
on the
probably.
training pitch. But will they finish first in the league? No, won't happen. January, fall. They'll probably
Here we go.
This guy
They'll
loves
probably-
January, eh?
they'll probably they'll probably end up
January merchant over
Buddy
here.
loves January.
they'll probably end the 5th place because I don't know if they'll finish higher than Sociedad either. They're a pretty good team.
Sociedad has been balling these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so
They're doing really well.
Sociedad, Atletico,
They're
Real.
Sociedad are 12 points behind Girona.
That's okay.
Is
A lot of games left.
And Sociedad are playing in European football.
They're doing
A
well
lot of
too in
games.
European football.
So,
You guys better watch out in La Liga, bro. You got some teams coming up. Right?
I've heard this before.
Yeah, me too.
But speaking of teams performing, is there a certain Bundesliga team you want to talk to us about?
Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Is Xabi Alonso the real deal, dude?
I'd love to talk about a Bundesliga team that's not Dortmund for once. But yeah, Leverkusen this season have been, absolutely phenomenal. I think other
And
than
fun to watch.
they've been
fun to watch.
incredible
Holy
football.
smokes.
Xabi Alonso
Beautiful
has them
football.
playing beautiful football.
It's not 1-0 games,
It's
they're
3,
fighting
it's
for it.
4, and it's
It's like
it's,
Girona, bro.
It's
Same thing.
Wirtz and Boniface, and they're both just so brilliant. Boniface, I think, really is the next big thing. I think he's Osimhen, but he can dribble. So I think that's scary
And
hours
you wouldn't expect that
for a
from him
lot
'cause
of
he's
teams.
a tall guy
He's
too.
a big
He's
guy,
big.
but he can dribble with the ball. I think he has one of the highest dribbles completed in Europe this season,
Wow.
top 7 leagues. So it's definitely interesting to see that kind of dynamic duo up top. But dude, Granit Xhaka has
Revived
been
his career.
an absolutely phenomenal signing for Leverkusen. Leaves Arsenal. We see Arsenal struggling a little bit without Xhaka.
Yeah,
They tried to replace him with Havertz, maybe with Rice, but sometimes you just need that player that's experienced like Xhaka that can control the game,
Calm it down.
calm it down, game management, all that good stuff. And we've seen, Xabi said, Xhaka, I want you to come to my team. Him and Palacios have been a fantastic midfield duo. It's really just the two of them because they play, that 3-4-3 style. So it's really just the two of them covering a lot of ground in the midfield, but they dictate so well with the ball. And they set a lot of the groundwork for that front three to do their thing and score goals. But Grimaldo is one player I'd like to highlight as well.
Been going off, bro.
He has been going off. I think he's got, double digits goals and assists this season.
Already.
He scored an absolutely beautiful goal on the weekend. Wirtz with a beautiful little, kind of cheeky little back heel pass to Grimaldo, top of the key. Just a laser of a shot. And, they're getting goals from all angles. You don't know who to guard. Like Ta scored a beautiful kind of volley on a corner too. It's like the players believe they can do anything now. And that's what a good gaffer and a good, mentality brings you. Like the players believe they can do anything. This team last season, they had Xabi Alonso, but maybe they weren't all fully bought in. They didn't have a few of those right key players. But this summer, shout out Simon Rolfels. He did his thing this summer. He went out there, brilliant recruitment for players this summer. He got the key players in the key positions to kind of finish off that squad, and they look like a force to be reckoned with this season. It's finally good to have like a serious contender, as tough as that is to say as a Dortmund fan, like someone that can keep up with Bayern, not only from results, because Dortmund did that from a results standpoint last season, but also with the style of football. They're not doing it in kind of a gritty way. They're dominating these teams.
Yeah.
They dominated Bayern when they played Bayern.
They're averaging like 3 goals a game,
draw.
bro.
They're playing phenomenal football, undefeated in the Europa League as well. They haven't lost a game all season. They've scored the most goals in Europe.
Only team in the Europa League to make it through already.
So to answer your question, yes, Xabi Alonso is the real deal. Will he stay beyond the season? Who knows? I know he has a clause in his contract that he can go to
Madrid, Bayern,
any
Liverpool.
of his former teams.
If they come
I
calling,
think there's a fee of about 18 million that team would have to pay. Which, to be honest, nowadays is
Not
a
that bad.
small price to pay.
it's not much.
For a gaffer who's showing results and performances like this. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, can he avoid Spatty's, famous January slump? That's kind of still up for debate. With the AFCON coming up, they do have quite a few players that would be participating in AFCON. So will that impact the team at all? Like, Boniface representing Nigeria.
Well, they lose Boniface, they have Sheik. They don't. It's not like they don't have a
You
little
can't
bit.
compare them.
I'm not comparing them, but I'm saying
Yeah.
they have decent players.
Yeah, Tapsoba, Konosu. So they're missing a couple players, but it'll be interesting to see. Like, hopefully those, like you said, those players like Sheik, maybe can he refine his form that we saw in the Euros from a few years ago under Xabi Alonso. But if they can make it through that period of the year with those players missing, then I think we might finally have a new winner in the Bundesliga. And like you guys are saying, man, at least it's not Bayern. At least it's not Bayern. I would welcome seeing a team, a new face win the league.
That's
I think it'll
Bayern.
be good for the league as a whole.
Yeah.
And I think it's also good just in general for other teams in the Bundesliga to see that if you believe in a project, in a gaffer, you invest the right way, that it is possible to beat Bayern, right? So I think it'll be good overall.
Yeah, and like you said, like for players to see this, it could be another option, right? It's not always Bayern's calling. Maybe I'll just go to Bayern. Now, if Bayern Leverkusen's calling,
you have
they
a
got a gaffer
legitimate
too.
yeah.
There's a legitimate reason why I would go there.
Yeah, there's a legitimate big four in the
Right.
Bundesliga now. Like you have 4 teams that are going to be competing in Europe. You have 4 teams that can pay the wages, 4 teams that can pay the transfer fees, 4 teams that can compete. So I think that's huge for the league in general. Because when you have a big four like that, it shows a lot about the league. Like you see Serie A, they have a little bit more depth. Quality maybe not as good as the Bundesliga in terms of those top teams. Like they don't have a Bayern, you know what I mean, that can perennially challenge. But they have 5 or 6 teams that can compete, and players want to go to those 5 or 6 teams, right? Where
Yeah.
if you look
You don't think Inter's like Bayern?
no,
How? Right now?
Maybe slowly, but not
Right now?
Not yet.
What do you mean by that?
You don't think Inter's the same level as Bayern right now?
no,
No.
In terms of what?
Level of play.
no.
Players, yes?
Are you basing this just off the fact they
You
went
can
far in
s-
Europe last year?
No, look at the way they're playing. Inter's dominating the Serie A
And
right
if you
now.
want to say they're
Inter dominated their Champions League group.
if you want to say if anything, if you would to say if Inter's like Bayern's little baby brother, then sure.
No, I'm not talking about all time
Like-
because obviously they're
Little
not the
bro.
same all time.
I know they're not the
No,
same.
but
They're
even
not
now,
the same
they're-
all
it's like a
time.
little
They're,
bro.
they're not the same right
the
now.
same right now.
They,
It's not-
I
it's
think
the
they
same.
are.
They're not, dude.
I think they are. Why not? Why
They're
aren't they
not,
though?
dude.
Trying to be like that.
Name me one reason why they aren't.
They're just not as good.
Why? Why aren't they as good?
Which player from Inter gets into Bayern starting 11?
Lautaro.
Over
Harold?
Yeah.
Come on,
You
bro.
play. You switch up the
Okay,
formation.
can we
Barella.
can you mute his
Why would
mic?
you switch the formation if it's
Can
not
you
broken?
mute his mic, please?
Barella would.
For who? Kimmich?
Any other midfielders. He would be the best midfielder.
Better than Kimmich.
Yes.
I'm not taking Kimmich out, but I think he
Yeah.
starts on that Bayern side.
But Ella probably gets in over Goretzka, but I don't see anybody else getting displaced.
I could definitely think of more.
Who?
DeMarco.
DeMarco.
I don't know
Marcos.
what formation do they play. 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1.
Sommer.
Who's the right back right now? Dumfries.
I don't know if Dumfries.
Come
gets
on.
in over
Okay, here you
Lacroix.
go. Bundesliga merchant. All right. Okay,
Dude,
go.
Dumfries plays good in a 3-back, but in a 4-back,
He played a 4-back with Netherlands,
and what did they do?
and he played. He was that's where he got scouted.
You got scouted.
Yeah, by Inter. That's when
They
he
don't
left
play a
Inter.
4-back.
They play
Netherlands.
three-
Netherlands
At
play
that
a 3-back.
in that tournament, they played 4th-back. Yes, they did.
Dude, Netherlands have always played a 3-5-2.
No, they didn't.
Sure.
They played 4.
Dude, they steady play a 3-5-2.
Okay.
Regardless, okay,
Yeah,
sure,
you know everything,
sure,
dude.
maybe Dumfries comes in, but regardless, 2 players getting into an 11 for me doesn't say same level. Inter are a fantastic team, sure, but let's cool a little bit before you're comparing them to a team like Bayern. Like Bayern are, let's relax a little bit.
Yeah, but who was in the
see,
finals
I can
last
see
year?
what you're saying though. Like they have
I can
that
see it. Like
mentality.
they have a good thing
they're
going for them.
towards that.
But if they win the league this season, maybe they pick up a few more players
We're
here
acting
and
like
there.
Bayern's this unbeatable team, though.
You're acting like Inter's an unbeatable.
No, I'm not. Because I'm saying
You're
Inter's
such
the
a
same. I'm
brat.
saying that Inter's the same level. I'm not putting Bayern at the same level as Madrid. They're not the same level as Madrid right now.
They are.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Why are they the same level as Madrid?
Bayern?
And why are they the same level? They're not the same level as City either.
Why not?
Because they're not.
How are they not?
The team.
I think those are the 3 teams that are the same.
Team and play.
Those are the top 3 teams in the world.
Those are the top.
Yeah,
3
maybe
teams
the
in
top.
the world.
Sure, I'll give top 3 teams.
So
but
the Inter's not there.
no. Inter might just be 4th.
No.
Yes. Who's better than who's better than Inter behind Inter?
Yeah,
Bayern,
they might
Bayern
be
Leverkusen.
No,
They might be
Bayern
fourth.
Leverkusen.
no.
I'll give them 4.
I think like Leverkusen are playing good football this year, but I think there's like kind of a mix of current form plus like historic form. Like the last season, you have to take into account. I think I'll give Inter top 5
They're 4.
for sure. Inter top 5.
So who's
They're
your 4?
I don't hate PSG.
I don't.
Okay, Inter's better than PSG,
I don't hate
man.
PSG.
Come on.
I don't hate PSG at
That's
all.
crazy. If you think PSG is better than Inter, you're
Liverpool.
I don't hate Liverpool either. Sure, they're not playing in Champions League as well, but
crazy. Okay, you guys are just talking.
I don't
now.
hate them. I don't hate them. Is all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you're just
But he's
talking.
speaking Japanese.
Yeah, this guy just
No
loves
Serie
talking.
A team makes my top 5.
No, Inter definitely make my top 5. Like no doubt.
They're 4th.
For me, they make my top 5. Whether it's 4th or 5th
They're
is
fourth.
up for debate.
They're 4th.
But
Let us know in the comments.
I think there's a little bit of a gap between 3 and the rest.
yeah,
There's-
I can
no,
say
there's
that.
not.
Yes, there is. Yes,
So-
there is. Come on.
Well, we'll see how far Bayern go in this Champions League.
We will. We'll see how far all these teams go. Exciting
Why
times
don't you guys
ahead.
put a bet on it?
What
What's
team
the
will go
bet?
farther?
Yeah.
Bayern or Inter?
I'm down.
Go. Shake hands right here. What's
Bayern
the
or
money?
Inter?
$20.
20 bucks.
$20.
So Bayern or Inter, who goes farther?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Further.
Yeah, I was same
What do
thing.
you guys think in the comments below? Let us know. Bayern
Inter
or
could go
Inter?
further, dude. At the
Oh,
end
now
of-
he's gonna backtrack. Oh,
Oh, it can
Whoever
happen,
has
dude.
used your.
No,
your
it's
set of,
true.
What about Union Berlin though?
yeah.
Hey, watch it.
1 point.
Watch it. Union Berlin, they tied Napoli.
Oh, Napoli stinks.
That's one of your best clubs.
Yeah, the
in Serie
manager's
A.
out. Manager's
So
gone.
what team is really good in the Serie A then, other than Inter?
Juve.
I don't hate it.
Where are they playing
I
in
don't
Europe?
hate it.
They don't need to be playing Europe to be a top team.
You don't
Yeah,
think so?
No,
The
they,
top
they-
teams play in Europe,
they did not make Europe because they were bad.
but the top teams play in Europe, no?
So why did them? Why
They
did
got banned.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Say it one more time.
They're not
bro.
playing in Europe because they committed fraud.
You
And that's
try-
okay.
You try to say it so nice. They got banned.
It's
They
okay.
committed fraud.
Do top teams commit fraud? And
They're
get caught?
still a top team.
Yeah, top teams do commit fraud.
Yeah, your team
And
commits
I
fraud.
said and get caught.
Oh, yeah.
Your team gets caught. But
That's
it's-
the big
Nothing
difference.
is-
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, here we go.
Accusations versus getting caught is the big difference. But yeah, Inter, phenomenal form, big game for Inter Milan against Juve coming up here. I just want to talk about Juve a little bit. It's been a while since we've talked about Juve on the show.
We haven't found a time.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And this
And Juve, I think, are a phenomenal team.
How much did you pay this guy to say this?
And I think Serie A in general is a better league, more respected when Juve are playing well. And they're in that kind of title race. I think it shows good on the league. And they're grinding out results right now with
but what am I?
scrappy team and scrappy players, and can they win the league? I guess is my question.
What I hate that is that what they said. Yeah, no team is consistent year in year out.
wrong with that?
Besides Juve,
why'd you hate that?
besides Juve,
I love
those
that.
10 years.
Me too.
But why does the team just die out the next season?
They don't. It's just other teams are getting
No,
better.
compare Napoli
And
from last season to
players are
this
leaving.
season.
Yeah,
Compare Milan from 2 seasons ago to today.
Players
they're
are leaving
better.
as well.
From 2 seasons ago, they're better.
How did they want to?
That Milan team wasn't like that good.
AC Milan?
Yeah,
And I think a lot of teams outside of Serie A look into Serie A to poach players too. And I think, like you said, Serie A is just a good. Serie A is one of those leagues that have all around good teams.
Yeah, they have like 4 or 5
Yeah,
solid
anyone
solid
could legit
teams
win.
that can fight for top 4, and you're not really seeing like a loss of quality.
Sometimes it just takes that one player that they signed that year, and then they
Yeah.
just like go off.
Yeah.
Right. So
Like Atalanta can pop off at any given time.
right.
Lazio can
They're still
pop
sleeping.
off like
Everyone's up, yeah.
they did last season, right? Roma always have a chance to maybe do something, although the last few seasons they've been a little bit weaker. Napoli we saw almost overnight turn into a powerhouse of a team. Now they maybe
Exactly.
regressed a little bit, losing their gaffer, but I don't know. Like Inter, I think are maybe the one team that can really build something here with the players that they have, and then I think Juve, if they continue on the path of investing in young Italian players and mixing that in with a few players from abroad that are uber talented, I think they can get back to the top there as well. Like I like what Inter did. They focused on young players first, then they brought in a couple pieces from outside Serie A to kind of finish off the team. I think Juve are kind of going through that similar process right now. We've seen them signing up some players in the Serie A, playing these youngsters, And I think you put the cherry on top with someone like a Thuram from Nice in the midfield there. You pick up a couple other players from outside the league to kind of put the cherry on the top, then maybe they'll be competing in Europe again, right? Like, yeah, you get that depth back in, and then you're ready to compete in Europe again. In Champions League, you know, maybe get knocked out in the group stage, maybe progress, right? Like, it depends kind of what happens there. But
I think our little cherry on top could be Sancho.
yeah, dude, honestly, I'd love that. Like,
I would not.
I would absolutely love that.
You said it yourself. Their gaffer doesn't like players to express themselves.
He can
you think
play.
he's gonna express himself?
Express.
He can
You
play.
think he's gonna express himself the way?
No, he does. He lets
he's
him.
not playing striker.
Yeah,
He'll adjust the formation
He's not
for
gonna-
Sancho.
He can play
He's gonna
straight.
play wing back, bro.
He's
gonna play
that man though. He's that player you're gonna adjust your formation for.
No, he's done it
Yeah.
before.
The
Yeah.
whole season
Why not?
is gonna be changed during January.
Why not?
He,
In the middle of the season,
No
you're
way.
gonna change
Why
your
not?
formation.
No.
Allegri,
In the middle of the season, you're gonna change your formation for a player. The whole chemistry.
He can play
the
second
whole
striker.
morale changes.
slowly.
Sancho
No,
can
no.
play.
He
second
hasn't
striker.
played in months, dude.
He's training.
This guy's training. With,
Yeah,
he's training with his at home.
Okay, I'm not saying that he's gonna get into the lineup right away.
yeah.
He's doing the
But-
quarantine workouts, bro.
But
He
we're
goes to, okay, this is my thing. He goes to Juve. He's not playing for another month. He has to get fit.
Yeah.
He has to get into
But
the
to be
team still.
to be fair, Juve don't have high standards when it comes to keeping players fit. You saw
making fun of your team.
no,
right
it's
now,
true.
bro. That's
You
crazy.
there have been players that have left Juve. Delict said he went to Bayern. He's like, I never trained like this in my life. Like at Juve, I wasn't doing anything near this. When he came in, he was a little bit overweight and whatnot. So it's not like he's gonna have to go for a crazy turnaround. I'm sure he's keeping himself in shape and he's motivated to do
Yeah,
well.
that's true.
And I think if he goes to Juve, watch out. He's gonna absolutely cook in that league. I think it's a perfect league for him. It's a little bit slower pace, and I think with how Juve play with width and combination play, I think he'll be fantastic. Him and Chiesa and Vlahovic can be a very, very, very dangerous trio up top. You're forgetting this is a player that was putting up 20 and 20 seasons. I'm hearing you guys gassing
That
up
was
players that are putting
4 years ago.
wasn't that long ago, dude.
Man, you're never gonna stop talking about this 2020
That was
season.
like 3
man.
years
Okay,
ago.
so name me dude. You don't stop talking about Rafinha putting up 12 goals last season. Dude, find me
I
another
mean,
player
That's
that's
because you
put
guys
up.
bring it up.
Dude,
I don't bring it up.
find me
bro.
Not
another
me.
player that's put up 20 and 20 in the last few seasons. It's a very, very select list.
What's he done after that though?
Dude, he went to United. You can't blame him. What
Yeah,
player
you
goes?
can.
What
He-
player? What
did he
player
choose to
goes?
go there?
What player goes to United and succeeds?
This guy's going for everyone's throats. Yours is.
Think
Did he
of
not
mine.
choose to go there?
What play? No, tell me.
Why'd he
Which
go there
player
then?
goes to United for
No,
the
you're
bag?
not wrong.
For the bag.
You're
He
not
went for the
wrong.
bag.
100% he went for the bag.
He went for the
Well, that's
bag.
what his focus is, I guess.
Not anymore.
Think
He's
so?
gonna go to United, dude. He's gonna go to Juve, and trust me, you can quote this right now.
Damn.
He'll go to Juve. He'll go to Barca. He'll go to Dortmund. Whatever team he
Go to
goes
Barca,
to,
bro.
he is gonna come good. Because at the end of the day,
I don't want him.
Maybe not
talent
the
wins,
season
dude.
that he comes in.
he won't live the same lifestyle he's in at United. Like
Dude,
you come to Juve, yeah, you won't train as hard as like a Bayern, but they're gonna keep you in line. You're
Bro,
not.
he's gonna eat even
Bro,
more in Italy.
I was
No,
about to
you
say that, bro.
He's gonna get more fat.
Bro, first of all, what
They
carbs
still
do they
have
have?
you on diet.
Bro,
Bro, does it look like the
Italy-
man's on a diet in England?
Italy is carb central.
dude, it's not about
Every meal is pasta, dude.
Dude, it's not about the diet. The problem is he's there. He's around all his mandem. He's around all his boys. You're going out partying. You're chilling with your boys.
Bro,
Dude, think
the
about
women
it.
in Italy are beautiful.
Dude, doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I've been there myself, guys.
Dude, doesn't
She
matter.
told me,
Doesn't matter
deadass.
about women, dude. Okay, so imagine you have two leagues, right? Let's say you have a league in Canada. You're playing here. It's a high level league, and then you have a league in Mexico.
The
for
women in
example,
Mexico are also
right?
very beautiful.
You're playing in Mexico. You're not around your boys. Your only focus is football. You get a transfer back home. You get a bag. All your boys are around you again. You now have all this money. You're still a kid, and all of a sudden your boys like, "Yo, Dave, what are you doing tonight? Come chill. Let's go do this. Let's go do that." And you're like, "Yeah, sure. I got my
man, I'm
money."
a footballer. I
You're
gotta
gonna-
stay focused.
You're gonna hang out with your boys. You're still a kid at the end of the day, and you're influenced.
Kid, how old is he?
Dude, when he went back to United, he was like what, 21 years old,
That's a
22
kid.
years old.
How old is he
Dude,
now,
you're
24?
still young.
That's a
Still
kid.
young, bro.
You're still young, dude. You're impressionable.
He's still
You're
young.
making 300,000 pounds a week at 21, 22 years old. Obviously, you can make a mistake, but now you're gonna go back to Italy,
Not back.
Or you're gonna go to Italy. right? Country maybe you don't speak the language right away. Your boys aren't gonna be around you.
Hard to assimilate in the team because
no,
of that.
you're gonna be focused on football. That's all you're gonna be focused on is football. You're gonna go in day out. The only thing you're gonna do is football. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna get back to my form, and he's gonna kill it, dude. Wherever he goes, as long as it's outside of England, because it's too toxic there, I think he's gonna
Facts.
kill it, dude. He has the talent to do it. He's shown it, on every stage. He's shown in Champions League. Don't act like it was just in the Bundesliga.
No,
I seen this guy cooking PSG.
Man City.
You know, him and Mbappe were going head to head in that battle, exchanging kits after the game. A little dap up, dude. The 2 number 7s. He has a talent, dude. I want to see him cook at Juve, man.
I think this is either gonna be the downfall.
His last chance.
This is his last chance.
Yeah,
This is
last
his last
He
dance.
said he's going to Juve though.
No, but in general,
There's been linked to him. That's
any team he goes to, and I think it's very highly he goes to Juve. Any team he goes to, it's gonna be his last dance to really show off why he was quoted as one of the generational talents.
Dude, he was
next guys.
He was being chatted about with Mbappe, with Haaland, like with all these mans, right? So,
But like these guys that get chatted about with Mbappe and Haaland, i.e. Dembele, i.e. Sancho, those guys falling off, and Mbappe and Haaland are still at the top.
yeah.
And that's what it takes sometimes. Maybe it's just that one thing, mentality. We'll see if him moving can change that mentality.
And it's the career move sometimes. You make the wrong career move, and that's what sets you back. You see Haaland, he made the right moves. You see Mbappe, he made the right moves so far. Dembele didn't make the right moves. Sancho didn't make the right moves, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. It's not the talent, because the talent's there. It's that next move after you blow up that can really define your career, right?
It's got to be a smart move.
Like, dude, think about it. If, let's say, Bellingham went to Man U instead of going to Madrid right now,
Yeah, he was been screwed over.
right?
Yeah.
It's all about that next move.
Actually, I heard about that. Like, Bellingham had a chance to go to Man U or something like that
Liverpool, maybe.
I don't
a
know.
year before, but he stayed at Dortmund a year longer, and now look where he's at. So sometimes it just takes that patience to get to that, you know.
Patience is a
fine.
virtue.
But yeah, what are you guys saying? End it off there, boys.
And that off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mateuzinho.
All right,
On the hot
boys.
seat.
If you like the chat, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know who we are. We're the culture.
Just a bit of cheeky banter with the lads today, lads.
Be the culture, man. With that, we out.
Later. Ciao, ciao.
Dude, Sancho disrespect is crazy.
You don't know him, bro. What do you owe him?
Sancho